Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. So today's video is going to be a lesson from my new long-awaited violin book 3, which takes us from lessons 21 to 30. Now I have to say that this is a true masterpiece. These are probably the best books I have written to date, even if I do say so myself. Comparing them to everything else that I have written, these are very, very comprehensive books. However, they have still been written for the self-learner in mind. And I can tell you guys right now that nothing online in the world exists like this. So these books come in 2 parts. So these are lessons 21 to 30, but I have split them into 2 parts. And the reason being is that this part 1 talks about third position. So this is lessons 21 to 25. And the second part talks about bowing techniques. You cannot buy these books separately. Once you buy the book, you get both of these. They don't really have anything to do with each other, so I have just simply separated them out into 2 books just for the purpose of clarifying that. In addition to these 2 books, as per usual, they will come with a Songbook 3, and it is very, very advisable that you buy Songbook 3. So on my shop, you will be able to buy these books, which are lessons 21 to 30, and you will be able to buy book 3 separately for $9.99. That's US dollars as well. However, you'll be able to buy them in a combo deal, all 3 books together, to save yourself a little bit of money. So everything you see here is going to be linked in the description bar underneath this video to purchase, and these are downloadable books only. I want to make that very, very clear. There is nothing physical to ship out, as with any of the books on my shop. They are 100% downloadable, so as soon as you've purchased, you just get straight on downloading and off you go. So I really hope you enjoy these next set of 10 lessons, and let's get into the lesson. So for lesson 21, we're going to be talking about what is third position. Now there is a lot of information already written in the book, so I'm not going to read every single bit of text in the book, but I'm just going to explain the diagrams that you've got here. So the diagram that you've got at the bottom, so we're looking at this diagram here on page 4. This is going to show you basically where all the fingers go, where the position of the first fingers that we already know, and then the position of the third fingers. So when you look at your chart, you'll see you've got the first finger notes, second, third, and fourth finger notes, as per usual. And then on the right-hand side of that diagram, the first finger notes, second, third, and fourth finger notes. And what you'll notice is that the first finger notes in third position, the ones on the right-hand side, start where the third finger goes in first position. Let me explain what I mean using my violin. So you've got first position here, finger 1, finger 2, finger 3. Let's just say, whatever. Then third position is going to start where the third finger goes. So I'm going to use the index finger of my other hand just to hold here. And then I'm going to shift my whole hand up. So finger 1 starts here, finger 2, finger 3, and finger 4. And this is now third position. So the same would be true in that case about second position. So going back into first position, it's called first position because this is the first position that you possibly get on the violin. There is such a thing called half a position, which is just slightly further back, but it's not really a sort of legitimate position that we kind of use in violin talk. So suffice to say, we've got first position as we've been doing up to this point. Now you can see the fingers that I've got down here. So first position, it does what it says on the tin. Second position is going to start where the second finger is. So if I now shift everything up to here, this is now second position. And if I go back to first position, third position is going to be where the third finger starts. So I can shift, just about there, I can shift everything up, and this is now third position. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4. If I put my fourth finger down in first position and put my first finger where the fourth finger would go in first position, that's going to be fourth position. Fifth position starts here, sixth position, seventh position, eighth, and so on and so forth. The further up the fingerboard that you get towards the bridge, the smaller the gap everything is going to be with the fingers, which you will find out later in this book. On that first page there, that's just basically telling you what I've just discussed there with the positions on the violin. And the next chart is now filled in with all those letters. So again, you can read the text and help to visualize, and it's the same thing that I've just explained here. I don't think looking at this this chart on page 5 is necessarily the best way to go about learning, because you'll need to associate it to the notes on the music and then the violin. That's the way we learn third position, and that's the way we learn everything. But I just wanted to give you a visual so that you can get that in your head first before you start practically applying it to the notes that you see on the music and then the notes that your fingers are going to be doing. But it's a good way of just visually trying to see where the notes are, which is why I've provided you that chart there on page 5. Moving on to page 6 then, this is just these notes that you see here are just kind of the crossover notes that I'm explaining. So you'll see when you look on page 6, but you can basically see if we're taking the D string, for example, we've got D, E, F and G. And I move my first finger up to where the G is. So first finger is now G, second finger is A, third finger is B, and the fourth finger is C. So you'll see there is a crossover, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C. So the crossover is that G, or is that third, the third finger is the crossover note that you'll be able to see there. And then moving on to the next page, you can now physically see those crossovers. So we have 4 lines of some notes that we've got here, 1 on each string, G string, D string, A string and E string. And this is to show you the notes on the music and the crossover that you've got in the middle. So if I just play the first one to you, you'll understand what I mean. So you've got open G, then A, B with finger 2, C with finger 3. Then what I'm going to do then is move my first finger up to where that C is, play that again, and then you've just got your scale going upwards, as you can see there. So and then you do the same on the other strings as well. So we can pick the third one down, which is the A string, A, B with finger 1, C sharp with finger 2, D with finger 3, and then I'm going to move up to that D, E with finger 2, F with finger 3, and then G with finger 4. And if you look at the music for that G, it is the same as the G that you recognise with second finger on the E string. It is exactly the same note. So this is what I mean when you've got to get your head around those notes. So those notes in third position are the same ones that you're going to be recognising on the string above the notes in third position that you're on. So if you're playing notes in third position on the A string, those notes in third position on the A string that we just did are going to be notes that you are used to playing in first position on the E string. And this is exactly what you've got to get your head around. If you don't understand that, and you can't really understand, if you look at a G and you just imagine G as a second finger on the E string, but you have no idea where it's going to be on the A string in third position, do not worry about that, because we're going to be going into that in a lot more detail in the next few lessons in the book. So don't worry that you don't understand that. This lesson 21 is just purely about what, why, where and how, and understanding what, why, where and how third position is in relation to our first position. So that's it for lesson 21. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in lesson 22.